morning. Thank you for joining me for story time today. Today's word is duck. And you put two fingers up and your thumb and you pretend like it's a baby duck quacking at your face. Quack, quack. Let's get started. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, then your face will surely show it. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, jump up and down. If you want to hear a story, jump up and down. If you want to hear a story, then your face will surely show it. If you want to hear a story, jump up and down. If you want to hear a story, say duck, duck. If you want to hear a story, say duck, duck. If you want to hear a story, then your face will surely show it. If you want to hear a story, say duck, duck. If you want to hear a story, do all three. Clap, clap, jump, jump, duck. If you want to hear a story, do all three. Clap, clap, jump, jump, duck. If you want to hear a story, then your face will surely show it. If you want to hear a story, do all three. Clap, clap, jump, jump, duck. Oh, very good. Good. Stretch, stretch. Way up high on your tippy toes. Reach the sky. See the bluebirds fly? Now, bend down and touch your toes. Now, a wave at the north wind as it blows. Waddle as a gander goes. That's kind of fun. There were two little blackbirds sitting on a hill, one named Jack and one named Jill. Fly away, Jack, fly away, Jill. Come again, Jack, come again, Jill. Let's do that again. Two little blackbirds sitting on a hill, one named Jack and one named Jill. Fly away, Jack, fly away, Jill. Come again, Jack, come again, Jill. Here is a Native American story from the Dakota tribe. It is called Iktomi and the Ducks. Iktomi is a spider fairy. He wears brown deerskin leggings with soft fringes on either side and tiny beaded moccasins on his feet. His long black hair is plaited in the middle and parted and wrapped with red and red around each braid. And around each braid hangs over a small brown ear and falls forward over his shoulders. He even paints his face funny with red and yellow and draws big black circles around his eyes. He wears a deerskin jacket with bright colored beads sewn tightly on it. Iktomi dresses like a real Dakota brave. In truth, his paint and deerskins are the best part of him. If ever dress is part of a man or fairy. Iktomi is a wily fellow. His hands are always in mischief. He prefers to spread a snare rather than actually go out and hunt. Why? He laughs outright with his mouth wide open when some simple folk are caught in his trap, sure and fast. He never dreams another lives so bright as he. Often his own conceit lands him hard against the common sense of regular folk. Poor Iktomi can't help being a little imp. So long as he is a naughty fairy, he cannot find a single friend. No one helps him when he is in trouble. No one really loves him. Those who come to admire his handsome beaded jacket and long fringed leggings soon go away sick and tired of his vain words and heartless laughter. Thus, Iktomi lives alone in a cone-shaped wigwam upon the plain. One day he sat hungry within his teepee. Suddenly, he rushed out, dragging out his blanket after him. Quickly spreading it out on the ground, he tore up all the dry grass with both hands and tossed it into the blanket. Tying it all four corners into a knot, he threw the bundle of grass over his shoulder. Snatching up a slender willow stick with his left hand, he started off with a hop and a leap. From side to side bounced the bundle of his sack as he ran light-footed over the uneven ground. Soon he came to the edge of a level land. On the hilltop he paused for breath. With wicked smacks of his dry, parched lips, as if tasting some tender meat. He looked straight into the space over the marshy river bottom. With a thin palm shading his eyes from the western sun, he peered far away into the lowlands, munching his cheeks all the while. Aha! He grunted with satisfaction when he saw a group of wild ducks were dancing and feasting in the marshes. With wings outspread tip to tip, they moved up and down in a large circle. Within the ring, around a small drum, sat the chosen singers, nodding their heads and blinking their eyes. They sang in unison a merry song and beat a lively tattoo on the drum. Following a winding footpath nearby came a bent figure of a Dakota brave. He bore on his back a very large bundle. With a willow cane, he propped himself up as he staggered along under his burden. Hereupon the drummers stretched their necks and looked and were very curious. "Ho, Iktomy, old fellow, pray tell us what you carry in your blanket. Do not hurry off. Stop, halt," urged one of the singers. "Stop, stay, show us what's in your blanket." "My friends, I must not spoil your dance. Oh, you would not care to see if you only knew what was in my blanket. Sing on, dance on. I must not show you what I carry on my back," answered Iktomy, nudging his own sides with his elbows. This reply broke up the ring entirely. Now all the ducks crowded around Iktomy. "We must see what you carry. We must know what is in the blanket," they shouted in both of his ears. That must have been loud. Some even brushed their wings against the mysterious bundle. Nudging himself again, wily Iktomy said, "My friends, it is only a pack of songs I carry in my blanket." Oh, then let us hear the songs," they cried the curious ducks. At length, Iktomy consented to sing his songs. With delight, the ducks flapped their wings and cried together, "Oi, hoi!" Iktomy, with great care, laid down his bundle on the ground. "I will build first a round straw house, for I never sing my songs out in the opening." Quietly, he bent willow sticks, planting both ends of each pole into the earth. These he covered with thick reeds and grasses, and soon the straw hut was ready. One by one, the fat ducks waddled in through the opening, which was the only entrance way. Beside the door, Iktomi stood smiling. As the ducks eyed his bundle of songs, they strutted in the door. In a strange, low voice, Iktomi began his queer old tunes. All the ducks sat round-eyed in a circle about the mysterious singer. It was dim in the straw hut, for Iktomi had not forgot to cover up the small entrance. All of the sudden, his song burst in full voice. As the startled duck sat uneasily on the ground, Iktomi changed his tune into a minor strain. These were the words he sang. With eyes closed, you must dance. Who dares to open his eyes, forever red eyes shall have. Up rose the circle of seated ducks, and holding their wings close to their side, began to dance in rhythm of Iktomi's song and drum. With eyes closed, they did dance. Iktomi ceased to beat his drum. He began to sing louder and faster. He seemed to be moving about in the center of the ring. No duck dared to blink a wink. Each one shut his eyes very tight and danced even harder, up and down, shifting to the right of them. They hopped around and around in a blind dance. It was a difficult dance for curious folk. At length, one of the dancers could close his eyes no longer. It was Skiska, who peeped the least tiny blink at Iktomi within the center of the circle. Ho, ho, squawked he in an awful terror. Run, fly. Iktomi is twisting your heads and breaking your necks. Run out and fly, he cried. Hereupon the ducks opened their eyes. There, besides Iktomi's bundle of songs, lay half the crowd flat on their backs. Out they flew through the opening Skiska had made as he rushed forth with his alarm. But as they soared high in the blue sky, they cried to one another, "Oh, your eyes are red, red, and yours are red, red." For the warning words of the magic minor strain had proven true. "Aha!" laughed Iktomi, untying the four corners of the blanket. "I shall sit no more hungry within my dwelling." Homeward he trudged along with nice fat ducks in the blanket. He left the little straw hut for the rains and winds to pull down. Having reached his own teepee on the high level lands, Iktomi kindled a large fire out of doors. He planted sharp, pointy sticks around the leaping flames, and on each stake he fastened a duck to roast. A few he buried under the ashes to bake. Disappearing within his teepee, he came out again with some huge seashells. These were his dishes. Placing one under each roasting duck, he muttered, "The sweet fat oozing out will taste well with the hard-cooked breast." Heaping more willows on the fire, Iktomi sat on the ground with crossed shins. A long chin between his knees pointed toward the red flames, while his eyes were on the browning ducks. Just above his ankles, he clasped and unclasped his long, bony fingers. Now and then, he sniffed impatiently at the savory odor. The brisk wind, which stirred the fire, also played with a squeaky old tree beside Iktomi's wigwam. From side to side, the tree was swaying and crying in an old man's voice, "Help! I'll break! I'll fall!" Iktomi shrugged his great shoulders, but did not once take his eyes from the ducks. The dripping of amber oil into pearly dishes, drop by drop, pleased his hungry eyes. Still the old tree man called for help. "He! What sound is that makes my ear ache?" climbed Iktomi, holding his hand on his ear. He rose and looked around. The squeaking came from the tree. Then he began climbing the tree to find the disagreeable sound. He placed his right foot on a cracked limb without seeing it. Just then a whiff of wind came rushing by and pressed together the broken edges. There, in a strong wooden hand, was Iktomi's foot. He was caught. "Oh, my foot is crushed," he howled like a coward. In vain he pulled and puffed to free himself. While sitting a prisoner on the tree, he spied through his tears a pack of gray wolves roaming over the level lands. Waving his hands toward them, he called in his loudest voice, "Hey, gray wolves, don't come here! I'm caught fast in a tree so that my duck feast is getting cold. Don't come eat up my meal." The leader of the pack, upon hearing Iktomi's words, turned to his comrades and said, "Ah, hear that foolish fellow. He says a duck feast is to be eaten. Let us hurry there for our share." Away bounded the wolves toward Iktomi's lodge. From the tree, Iktomi watched the hungry wolves eat up his nicely browned fat ducks. His foot pained him more and more. He heard them crack the small round bones with their strong long teeth and eat out the oily marrow. Now severe pains shot up through his foot, through his whole body. "Hin, hin, hin!" cried Iktomi. Real tears washed brown streaks down his red painted cheeks. Smacking their lips, the wolves began to leave the place, when Iktomi cried out like a pouting child, "At least you have left my baking under the ashes." "Ho-po!" shouted the wolves. "He says more ducks are to be found under the ashes. Come, let us have our fill at once." Running back to the dead fire, they pawed in the ashes, and they found the ducks. And such rude haste was made that a cloud of ashes rose like gray smoke over them. And moaned Iktomi when the wolves had scampered off. All too late, the sturdy breeze returned, and passing by, pulled apart the broken edges of the tree. Iktomi was released. But alas, he had no duck feast. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story about Iktomi. I have really enjoyed looking for Native American stories to tell, and it's been fun to find them. That's all the time we have for today. Here's a big hug from me to you. Until I see you at the library again. Hands go up and hands go down. I can turn around and round. I can jump upon 2 feet. I can clap and so can you. I can wave, I'll show you how. Story time is done for now. Thank you. See you next time.